Hello and welcome to The Pulse. Friday saw the close of China's annual 2 sessions, the back-to-back meetings of the National People's Congress and the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference. Some 3,000 delegates had travelled to Beijing for the meetings, which opened on March 3rd, against the backdrop of a trade war with the United States, a slowing economy and increasing international suspicions concerning Chinese technology companies, especially Huawei. But although this was barely discussed at these meetings, the international community is ramping up concern over China's increasing crackdown on religious expression on its Muslim communities. Nevertheless, at the beginning of March, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation meeting in Abu Dhabi adopted a resolution on safeguarding the rights of Muslim communities and minorities and commended China for its treatment of Muslims. The resolution attracted immediate criticism and accusations of kowtowing to economic pressures. Despite initial denials from China, the United Nations says 1 million Uyghurs have been detained in political re-education camps, and Human Rights Watch reports that surveillance and repression in Xinjiang has increased dramatically over the past 2 years. 2 weeks ago, producer Ivan Tong visited China and Kazakhstan to talk to members of Islamic communities there.
他们胡说八道。
为什么呢？为什么呢？
他们胡说八道。
是哪一部分胡说八道呢？
有些人的声音啊，讲新疆啊，有什么集中营啊，再教育这个营地啊等等，这些说法纯粹啊，是有些人在捏造、说谎，而且呢非常荒谬。实际上，我们这个中心啊是一所寄宿制的学校，我们这个教育培训中心的人呢会越来越少。如果有一天社会不需要的话，可以教育培训中心逐步就可以消失了。
我武力之位，开始要开始报。
Northwest China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region is home to 12 million Muslims. Most are Uyghurs, but there are also Kazakhs and other minorities. Xinjiang is now one of China's most heavily policed areas. The United Nations believes more than 1 million Uyghurs and other Muslims, almost 10% of the region's population, are detained in political re-education facilities there. Through examining satellite imagery, Canadian researcher Sean Jiang has identified what he believes to be a network of re-education camps in or near various cities. Most were built at least 4 years ago. The independent online magazine Bitter Winter has shared with the Pulse footage taken inside one of these camps. Dormitories are divided into cells and guarded by iron doors. There are 360-degree surveillance cameras in every corner of the building. The PRC initially denied such camps even existed, but as international awareness grew, it had little choice but to acknowledge their existence. Once it had done so, the state broadcaster CCTV last year broadcast its own video of one of the camps, according to which students are simply here to learn Putonghua and vocational skills.
But if I keep studying hard, I can make a living.
我从小喜欢跳舞、唱歌，可是受到我周围的宗教极端思想的影响，想跳却不敢跳，想唱也不敢唱。今后结业回到社会上，我会继续发扬文艺活动，影响他人，让他们远离宗教极端思想。
China's crackdown on Muslims in Xinjiang province has spread to nearby regions, including here in Qinghai province. The Qinghai Islamic Association is one of the 8 Islamic associations in mainland China that has openly agreed to Beijing's Sinicization of Islam. Qinghai province, southeast of Xinjiang, is home to 1 million Muslims and has more than 1,000 mosques. We traveled to Qinghai's capital, Xilin, to visit the Dongguan Mosque. More than 600 years old, it's the biggest in the province and one of the largest in all of northwest China. As the province's leading Islamic education center, this mosque will soon be required to work even harder to promote China's laws and the core values of Chinese socialism. In January, the China Islamic Association passed a 5-year plan to introduce measures to sinicize the religion and guide Islam to be compatible with socialism.
爱国是信仰的一部分。那么我们具体到我们的生活当中，我们怎样去进行爱国呢？这是一个问题了。那么就是说，我们作为中华人民共和国的公民，我们首先我们遵守宪法呀，遵守法律法规呀，在国家的政策范围内、法律法规允许的范围内进行正常的宗教活动。我想这是爱国的最具体的、真实的体现。咱们这个宗教信仰政策是全国都是穆斯林一律平等的，这是国家的法律，是人人平等。像我们的宗教政策这么好，怎么会像你说的那样呢？
但是那个再培训中心是真的有的吗？
这我不知道这不知道。
但是有听说过吗？就是
没有听说过，我不知道，真不知道。我们是从发自内心里觉得我们是最幸福的，世界上最幸福的穆斯林。原因是我们有一个这样伟大的祖国而且我们的这个民族政策落实的特别好。
Заңсыз Біріккен ұлттар ұйымы тағы басқа халықара органдар біздің құрылтайдың айтуы бойынша бүгінгі күнде 200-ден артық сондай лагерлерде 1 миллионнан 3 миллионға дейін адамдарды ұстап, өте қатаң режимде ұстап жатыр. Мысалы, әкесін, шешесін мына Құлжада алып кіріп кеткен лагерлерде олардың балаларын далада қалғаннан кейін Қытай үкіметі жинап, өздері таярлаған анау балаларды қытайша сөйлететін, оқытатын жерлерге алып кетеді. Осы себептен Бейжің, мұның Ши Цзиньпин үкіметі бір группа енді коммунист лидерлер. Уйғур, қазақ, қырғыз, осы мұсылмандарды тез қытайландыруды ілгері сүріп жатыр. Олар біледі, бүгін бұны істей алмаса, кейін мүмкін емес. Сол үшін бүгін ең маңызды мәселе біз үшін ол осы Біріккен Ұлттар ұйымы, Біріккен Европа, Америка, осылар Қытайға күшті экономический санкциялар жасайтын болса, ол бірден шегінеді, жабады лагерлерді.
Let's take a short break. We'll be back to look at pressures on the Muslim communities in one of China's neighbouring countries, as well as in provinces beyond Xinjiang. See you then.
There are signs that other regions in mainland China plan to follow the example of Xinjiang and tighten their grip on the Islamic faithful. We travel from Qinghai to the region with the second largest Muslim population, Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region. About 6.8 million Hui Muslims, more than a third of its population, live here. Ningxia authorities recently signed a cooperation agreement with Xinjiang to learn from its policies and strategies for combating ethnic and religious terrorism. We wondered if there would be any visible signs of attempts to reduce the influence of Islam in Ningxia's capital, Yinchuan. It didn't take long to find some. Yinchuan's halal wholesale food market opened 2 years ago. If you look at the market's name on the exterior of the building, the word halal is missing. Now it just reads wholesale food market. Most retailers still operating inside the market sell beef or lamb. But on the Wednesday morning we visited, there were few customers. Here in Yinchuan Ningxia, the biggest halal wholesale food market, most of the shops are either closed or out of business. The Chinese authorities have erased the words halal food in Arabic outside the shops and replaced them with a Chinese and English logo. The shop owners I talked to told me they're not allowed to talk about it.
不让挂清真2个字，就是你看门头上写到的是清真食品，就是那意思。对，以前都挂着清真字的。
他们就是要下令要你们就是拆走那2个字吗？
对。
清真那个牌子呢，现在不让挂那个经文了，不让挂我们回民的那个经文，阿拉伯文字。现在只要政府就让挂清真2个字就行了。
为什么？
不知道，这是政府的规定嘛。
你是回教徒吗？
哎，我是回教。
但是这样子不会有影响到这个宗教吗？
也不会影响。刚开始的时候不适应，现在都适应了。
也要适应了，
适应。
没法子也要适应。
没法也要适应的，这政府的决定呀。
This is Ningxia Niujie, Yinchuan's best-known street for buying and eating halal food. The name of the street in Arabic has also been erased from its gates. As happened with the halal wholesale food market, Arabic labels or logos have been removed from outside most restaurants. Next to Ningxia Niujie is the Nanguan Mosque, one of the largest in the province. We were there at one of the daily prayer times. Usually at this time, the muezzin's call to prayer would ring out repeatedly across the city. Today, though, the call for religious observance that once echoed across the neighborhood can only be broadcast once, and at a lower volume, ostensibly to reduce noise pollution. Since last May, all mosques in mainland China have been ordered to display the country's flag at the entrance. We visited one of the largest wholesale book markets in the city to see if copies of the Quran were available in the bookshops.
现在没得卖了嘛，在
最早清真寺呢有卖的，清真寺它是只卖那个伊斯兰教方面的。现在没有卖，现在都不让卖，都收走了，应该是收掉了。
收走了。
连送都没，以前我过去他们还有送给我的，现在是。
他就从去年不是把那些标志都拿了以后，就不让再闹这些，
不让卖。
别些那些都抬头放着念那些。
宗教方面，国家还是管理比较严一些。
I was forced and I have to say, Mrs. Ayman Umarova, I will give up you and I don't like to cooperate with you and I will accept the governmental lawyer for my case. And it is against my wish. She said if I recognize my crime and they will close the case and give me freedom.
Three weeks ago, we visited Atatürk's office in Almaty. On the morning of our visit, Sheikh Sham Balash was hosting a regular meeting with relatives of ethnic Kazakhs who had been detained in the re-education camps of Xinjiang, which shares a border with Kazakhstan.
所有的人几乎都是被抓，未成年的孩子到80多岁的老年人，他们统统被抓，被抓这些哈萨克人的原因，各种各样，什么样的原因都有，因此，我们是没有办法了，我们只能是要站出来了。
Among those at the meeting that day was 43-year-old Kazakhstan-born Uyghur Guishan Manapova. Her Chinese husband, Kari Aishanshan, has been detained in a re-education camp for more than a year and a half. Knowing that we would visit Atatürk that morning, she and her children had traveled more than 15 hours from their home just to meet us.
2017'den бастап бізге Қытайдан әр xil звоноктар келді. Күйеуімді қайтып келсін, сұрақтарымыз бар деген әртүрлі суалдармен. Сосын амал жоқ, күйеуім январда 2017 жыл ұшып кетті Үрімшіға. Сол барғаннан кейін оны бәрі паспорттарын тартып алып, октябрь айында 2017 жыл октябрь айында лагерге қамап қойды. Содан бері біз хабарсызмыз. Қазіргі уақытта өте қиын. Әрине әкесі болмағаннан кейін өте қиын балдармен тіршілігі өте қиын. Рухи жиһат, моральный жиһаттан финансовый жиһаттан бәрі жақтан ауырдық, бәрі маған болып жатыр. Осы қайтып келіп тағы балдарының бағырға басады деген
Ssenariy meni ko'z oldimdan ketmaydi. Yatsam da otursam da ba'zi tekkena o'shini o'ylayman-da. Men boshqa jomon o'yini o'ylamayman. Men sen qaytib keladi inshaalloh.
中国有什么理由给全世界证明他们有什么证据，有什么理由这个控制这个哈萨克人，让他们不见他们的妻子，不见他们的孩子长达2年3年呢？没有理由啊！所以这些人只能是站出来了。他们不是要抵抗中共啊，因为他们已经被背的没有其他路可走了。此时此刻，我们作为一个人，我们还能无动于衷吗？
Despite the growing fear and uncertainty over Atatürk's future, Belash and his team say they plan to continue their work. In next week's show, 2 Aflik Kazakhs tell the pulse of their experiences in detention in China's re-education camps. Join us again for more.